All right, welcome once again to Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, our self-defense course. And we're going to continue on with the most important aspect, which is controlling the distance, okay, and how we do that. Okay, so again, he wants to win the distance battle. Okay, a very simple way to think about this is watch any of Khabib's fights, right? Why does he give everybody trouble? He wins the distance battle. Very important. He wins the distance battle in that he fights at the range he wants, and then when he gets the range he wants, he doesn't let it change. Okay, so it's not just a matter of getting the distance you want, keeping the distance you want. So we talked about twos and nines. I want to be too far away or too close. So when I'm too far away, this is not where I want to be, right? So technically, I'm out of range. I may even be out of range a little bit here, but it takes me no time to get into range. So you may feel that you're out of range, but you're not. Ideally, this is the minimum for being too far away. This is the minimum I want to be. He's going to take his lead hand, stick it straight out with the fingers, and I'm going to put my lead hand in touch. At this range, it should be pretty likely that if he tried to tackle me or he tries to, notice if he kicks at me, I'm out of range. He has to step forward to kick me. He has to step forward to hit me, but he can't stay where he is and do any of those things. Now, if I was a little bit closer, where we're here, yeah, I'm here. So basically, what I tell people is, from my elbow to his elbow, that's kind of the zone I don't want to stay in. Okay, but a simple way is just here. This is why you see a lot of the old guys doing this to keep that range. And you hear all the time in Jiu-Jitsu or MMA, well, you know, that old stuff doesn't work anymore, don't do it. And then what happens is it comes back and then all of a sudden everybody's like, do that thing, do that thing. So try not to listen to people who say always or never do something, because what do you see now? You see Stephen Thompson, you see Conor McGregor, you see John Jones here. You see them using the side kick, the pizzelle. All of these things are back, right? Instead of, you know, for a while it was just be here, okay? They all have their viability, but you know, something's effectiveness is dependent on the combative environment. And just because somebody decides it doesn't work for them doesn't mean it doesn't work. So anyway, by the way, make sure that when we do this, it's our lead hand, it's not our rear hand, because you notice in order to touch our rear hands, now we're much closer. So here's the thing. We only have two ways to control distance. Right now we're going to cover the first way to control distance, and that is movement. Okay? Standing, his way of movement is his footwork. Okay? On the ground, there's other ways of movement. But if he wants to control the distance, either get closer to me or move away, it's his footwork. This is why it's really important to practice your footwork. I see a lot of jiu-jitsu guys have very, very bad footwork. Okay, you need to practice this as much as possible. Now, let's say that he sets up the distance he wants to be. Here, he doesn't want me to get any closer. So if I step forward, he's got a decision to make. He either steps back and keeps that initial distance, and notice we'll keep checking here. Or as I step forward, he steps forward and comes into the clinch range. But what he doesn't want to have happen is I step forward and he doesn't really move. Or I take a big step and he takes a tiny step. Because now we're in range again. Okay, so one of our primary ways, there's only two we'll discuss, of controlling the distance is footwork. And I can't emphasize this enough. Practice footwork. Practice instilling in yourself that if we're here, and this isn't even a fight situation, but I don't feel comfortable with him, and he steps in a little bit, bells should be going off right now. Right? I should be now this might not be a fight situation where I can really move around, but it might be a situation where I'm like, hey, we have a problem here? Where I immediately go to my connection points where I go, hey, you need to back up. Please don't come into my space. But I don't go, oh man, I don't like that he's standing here and I don't really want to do anything. Okay, so distance control, standing, using footwork.